Hi everybody, I'm Joey Paul and I'm an indie author and welcome back to my channel. I write young adult fiction across a variety of genres, and if you think that might interest you, then think about subscribing below. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while because I know that I'm someone who is mostly always revising a project alongside drafting, and there are certain times during the year when I'm revising and editing, and it made sense to give you my thoughts on doing the two at the same time. I will say that it's a lot of work and my way works for me, but that doesn't mean that it'll work for you, and it's completely okay and valid if you're someone who focuses on one project at a time. That's not doing it wrong or anything, but if you want to attempt it, I wanted to be able to give you some tips on juggling them all. So here we go. Number 1. Finding that balance is key and also hard. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's easy to balance the two because it very much isn't. Over the years that I've been doing this, I found a way which works for me, and I'll delve more into that in a moment, but you have to find that balance. Like, if you're someone who knows that you won't be able to juggle, or that thinks you'll end up way too stressed to be able to really function and make the changes, then this is not something you're going to have to do. It shouldn't be something you jump into lightly because your workload and stress levels are going to climb, and it's something you need to be prepared for. Saying that, it wasn't something that I started off doing. It took me a really long time to be able to manage doing edits alongside drafting, and then drafting alongside revising, and make any real progress. I'll cover this more in a moment, but the point is that you are the only one who really knows how you work. So you're going to be the one who helps you find that balance. Now, whether it's something that I'm going to mention here that helps you or something that I've not thought of, once you hit that balance, once you get to a point where you can manage to keep all your ducks in a row, then you're golden. A lot of the time people assume that you have to be able to do all this juggling to really make it as a writer or author, and I'm here to tell you that that's just not true. While the full-time author life is not a walk in the park, you can usually find some way to keep moving forward and keep on track without putting yourself into burnout, because no one wants that. So the most important thing I can tell you when it comes to juggling projects in different stages, you gotta find that balance, and when you do, you gotta make sure that you do everything to keep it working. Number 2, you are the only one who can say how you work. Going back to how you're the only one who know how you work, I thought I'd explore this more. I knew that once I got into the writing routine that I'm in now, I would be able to have some days that weren't for writing and could be completely dedicated to revision. I also knew that after a few read-throughs, I was going to need to be reading more and more bigger chunks to be able to really view the story as a whole. Otherwise, I would just make changes here and there and maybe not catch things in the next chunk, even with the copious amounts of notes that I make. So I know how I work, but I didn't just fall into it. I did a lot of trial and error to make sure that I wasn't going to be overloading myself. You need to do the same. If you know that taking one day here and there when you have nothing else to get done is going to work for you, then do that. But all advice is tailored to someone else's way of working, and you are the only one who knows how you personally work. It can be easy to get caught up in the idea of doing all the things, but the truth is that, like I already said, you don't have to be doing all the things to make it to be full-time to manage. Like I've said a number of times already and before, it takes as long as it takes, and that's okay. It may be that you try this and that and you find a way that works for you, and it might be that you just don't, and that's not a slight against you. Number 3, deadlines are stressful. I don't think I've ever met a writer who doesn't get stressed when it gets close to deadlines. I mean, that's kind of what they're there for, to push you through to finish things and get them done. When it comes to revising and editing, of course, it depends on your publishing path and all of that, but as an indie author, I find that even more self-imposed deadlines are stressful as hell. Even with deadlines that are more fixed, you're going to find that everything feels like it's going wrong and that you just can't get it all done. Like during dev edits, I'm always stressing because I know I need to get both the changes done and get the book to the line editor by a certain date. With the revising, I know that eventually I'm going to need to get my butt in gear and get to the dev editor or the sensitivity readers or the beta readers or whatever, and I want it to be as polished as it possibly can be. Deadlines are stressful for everyone, so when you're sitting down to plan, even just thinking ahead, keep in mind that your workload is going to be increasing the closer you get to those deadlines, and remember to schedule in some breaks in there as well. And number 4, If possible, separate. This is one of the main reasons that it works for me. I keep my revision days separate from my drafting days, but at the same time when it comes to edits, a lot of the time I find that I will need to do my edits every working day, otherwise I will not hit my deadline. That's not necessarily poor planning on my part, but just the volume of things that need to get done in that short space of time, and they can't be put off. So my advice is that if you can separate the two, if you can set aside one day to do this in revision and another day to do this in editing, then go for it. You might find that it works for you, and it may be that you have to double up what you'd normally manage to do. But if it's something that you can manage, then take that chance to do it. I know, going back to point 2, that I can't effectively work with doubling up, and that it will cause me anxiety and stress to miss a day. So I'm happy to mix the two and try and leave some distance when it comes to inputting changes. Like, I'll do revisions first and then end my working day with edits. You have to find what works for you and stick to it as much as possible. So there we go, those are my thoughts on revising and editing at the same time. As I said, it's something that I've been doing for a while, but it wasn't something that I started out doing. I can't speak for the traditional publishing path. I know that there's a lot different things there, but for me, editing and revising are something that have to have a precarious balance for me to be able to manage to do both at the same time. So how do you manage revising and editing? Do you manage to juggle the two, or do you have to have them completely separate from each other? Let me know in the comments down below. So that's all I've got time for today. If you want to support my channel, you can comment, like or subscribe. I post your videos on Thursdays. You can find me all over social media, and my books are available everywhere. And you can also sign up for my newsletter, and don't forget to pick up Invisible, which is the first in Young Adult Dystopian Quartet. All the links to which are listed below. Thanks for watching, and remember to keep writing. Bye.